Good morning and welcome to Saturday special of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Tomorrow happens to be the Jewish festival of Hanukkah. It is exactly like Diwali that is celebrated by the Indians, a festival of lights. And both these festivals essentially commemorate, celebrate victory, freedom, liberty. But Hanukkah does something more as well. It celebrates the choice of living as per your personal choice. It's a 8-day celebration. And not only does it celebrate the victory, but it also celebrates the rededication of the second temple of Jerusalem. And the most important event is lighting of menorah and placing that menorah at the doorstep. The same way we light diyas and candles and put them on the doorsteps so that the Lakshmi can enter, the goddess of wealth. And this 8-day celebration is called Hanukkah, Archanukkah, which is more traditional. This festival basically, as I said, celebrates the freedom. And it comes in winter time, exactly like the way Diwali comes. The word, which is a Jewish word, means dedication. And it's actually pronounced with a guttural khas sound. It begins on the evening and continues for 8 days. On the calendar year, it generally coincides with the month of November or December and runs right from tomorrow, that's November 28th, till December 6th. But basically the celebration is going to start tomorrow when the menorahs would be lighted. And this 8-day celebration is akin to our Navratri basically. The only thing is in Navratri, you fast for the day, here you don't. And what does it commemorate? In the 2nd century BC, the Holy Land was ruled by Syrian Greeks who tried to force the people of Israel to accept Greek culture and beliefs instead of mitzvah observance and believe in God. But there is always a rebellion, so a small band of faithful but very poorly armed Jews led by Judah defeated one of the mightiest armies of the earth at that time. They drove the Greeks away from the land, reclaimed the Holy Temple in Jerusalem and rededicated it. Now I remember reading that when Subhash Chandra Bose read about Hanukkah, how this small band, poorly armed Jews, the idea of the Indian National Army came to him. So if this small band could defeat the most strong army in the world at that time, why could the Indians not do it? Now, as far as Hanukkah is concerned, when the Israelis sought to light the temple menorah, and menorah is a 7-branch candelabrum. This candelabrum has 7 branches. And when they wanted to light it, they found only a single case of olive oil that was not contaminated because the Greek had contaminated all the oil. Miraculously, they lit the menorah and 1 day supply of oil lasted for 8 days. And by that time, the new oil could be prepared under conditions of ritual purity. Now, doesn't this remind you of Krishna's story, where 1 grain of rice was enough to feed all the people? So, to commemorate and publicize these miracles, the festival of Hanukkah was instituted. The brightness of the first light dwindles down, but the holy fires to altar burnt again from morning till evening. The priests were offering busily, officiating the old custom. So you see, again, look at that tragedy. You start a revolution, you are successful, and then some busybodies come who arrogate to themselves the function of being a custodian of the custom of, and then the old system starts prevailing. And that's what happened here. The Jewish farmers longed to return to the land after 2 years of hardship, privatization. It was fine to break the land and till the soil. Now, if barley was to grow, at that time, barley was the main crop in that part of the world, and ripen in time for raw offering on the Passover. So, what the farmers did, they left their plows to rally the heroic Cheshmoim, the first victories on the ranks of the enthusiastic Jewish rebels. And these farmers forsake their lands, shops were closed, even Torah students from the monasteries left to fight the oppressors. And naturally, the Greeks were defeated. But the songs of victory which had filled the reclaimed holy temple with grace, praise and gratitude were no longer there. The goal having been achieved, people relapsed into the old style. But one man realized that the time to return to the normal life hasn't come. Now, exactly again, you would think, it resembles practically all over the world that there is always one visionary who is not taken in by the initial victory. And he thought that Israel could not afford to relax. It would have to stand steady and prepare to carry on the fight against overwhelming odds of the enemy. This man was Judah Maccabee. And this man's name was on everybody's lips and every Jewish heart. He was admired as a hero, as a man with the heart of a lion and simple piety of a child. Again, this would remind you of the heroes like Subhash, even Gandhi. He was not fighting, but he had his own way, and he was brave. And then, this man started the fight once again. And it was not the spirited warrior's joy that made Judah Maccabee stay in the camp. He wanted to return to peace. He wanted country to live peacefully. Bloodshed, battle meant a hard and unwanted profession for the people of Judea, because Judea people wanted peace. But this was no time for relenting. So, using his magnetic power the way Hitler did, he had to stay with all the persuasion at his command. And the reasoning was his two wise brothers, Shimon and Jonathan. So clever enemies wanted a lull to prepare new slots with more troops and better equipment. And Israel at that time was surrounded by the enemies the way it is now. You see, history repeats itself. So the enemies were all around Judea, beside the defeated Syrians. The neighboring countries begrudged the dazzling victory of the small, ill-armed Jewish people. Jealousy was their hallmark, and they didn't want them to win. So, those countries, surrounding countries, would rather have seen the people of Judea oppressed and humiliated. But they could not see Israel to be strong, because they felt that if the Greeks are defeated now, then next would be they. Israel might become expansionist. Now, whence came this sudden source of strength and courage and fortitude? What was there in this nation that history has remembered, and then that keeps on repeating? 7 times Jews had to face this issue. But the spirit of Hanukkah sustained them. Old hatreds have always been there, and the descendants of the Edom, the Ammonites, the Philistines, they all survived in the ancient jealousies. Now compare this fight of Judah with the 6 fights against the Britishers. 6 won. But then what happened? They did not pursue the defeated the Britishers. And the Britishers rearmed themselves because they had a spy in the Sikh army, Pahara Singh. And they came back and defeated the victorious Sikh armies. But this man Judah had the foresight. And he said, no, we have defeated them, but we will not relax our careful watch to see what happens. So by this time messengers had come from Gilead, and it came to know that there were active preparations in Ptolemy, Tyre, Zidon, all over. People were gathering to destroy Judea. So Maccabi was already at work. They fortified their castles, towers, walls, battlements, moats were constructed. And once this important task was created, under the leadership of Antioch, they started the war. And these freshly trained troops, to the aid of the regions and the villages, harassed by the enemies of Judea, and he was able to conquer Hebron and other areas. Then he led his army to Jordan. Then he left his army, I think his brother, yes, Simon led his army to Jerusalem. So it was a pincer movement, the same strategy which Hitler adopted later on. And then not only Hitler, but if you read the history, all victorious armies have created a stratagem of having a pincer movement so that you surround the enemy from both sides. So this was successful. Judea was free. All parts captured by the neighboring countries, enemy countries, had been recovered. So came the celebration of Hanukkah. And this was an expression of their joy at victory, the restored glory and liberty. Now, how do they observe it? The heart of the festival is nightly menorah lighting. Menorah is a 7 candelabra but holds 9 flames, one of which is called shamash. Shamash is the attendant. You light this first, and from that you light the other 8. So, it's like Navratri, but here is the difference. On the first night you light 1 flame. On the second night you light 2 flames. On the third night 3. So when it's the 8th night, all the 8 lights are lighting apart from Shamash. So on the Friday afternoon, care is taken to light the menorah before the Shabbat candles are lit, and following evening they are kindled only after Shabbat has ended. So it starts tomorrow. Yesterday the first was lit, and Sunday they are going to have the beginning. Now, not only that, they sing the special blessings and the traditional songs exactly the way Indians celebrate, as I said, Deepavali. And I remember that the 10th Guru of Sikhs, Gobind Singh, had composed a hymn, Diwali ki raat dive baliyan. Light the candles because it's a night of Deepavali. And this menorah is lit in every household. And many times in a family there are 7 members lit 7 menorahs. And then this menorah is placed in a doorway or a window. It's also lit in synagogues and public places. And thousands of menorahs crop up in the city halls, buildings, malls, and parks. Then, after the daily prayers or evening prayers are held, after meals they offer praise to the God, and then they sing, "Deliver the strong into the hands of the weak, the many into the hands of the few, the wicked in the hands of the righteousness." So the victory of the righteousness, the victory of the poor, the victory of the good deeds is celebrated. Now, there are special foods at this time in Chanukah. This festival involved olive oil. So it's customary to eat foods fried in oil. The Eastern European classic is latke. It's a sort of a pancake made from potatoes, garnished with sour cream. And the reigning Israeli favorite, I was there at one time, is a jelly-filled donut. Then they play games. It's customary to play with dreidel. Now, dreidel is a four-sided spinning top bearing the Hebrew letters Nun, Gimel, He, Shin. So, this is a celebration of the great miracle that happened here. This game is played for a pot of coins, nuts, and other stuff which are won or lost based on which letter the dreidel lands where it's spun. Then this is a consumer-driven society now. So people tend to place great importance on giving Chanukah gifts. The tradition is to give the gifts of money, like the Muslims give, Eid, on Eid. The children and the friends and the relations are given Eid. So here also, they call it Jalt. It's given to the children. Then people are rewarded and charity is also given. So what does it mean? Now the main thing, why is this celebrated? Number one, when you spend the time in close proximity with menorah lighted, it is assumed that you listen to what the lights are telling you. The flickering flames tell you some messages. And the first message is, never be afraid to stand up for the right. Light is standing for the right, not the darkness. So light the candle and enlighten the world rather. And the lessons of the message of Hanukkah is A, never be afraid to stand up for what is right. Whatever the odds may be, that should not stop them. The same thing which Guru Gobind Singh said, "Te Shivavar mohe shubh kar mante kabhu na daru. Na daru aur soje bichaye ladu. Nischay kar apni jeet karu." So with a prayer on the lips and faith in the hearts, they enter the battle of their lives and won. And you can do the same. The second message is increase of goodness as single frame was good enough to dispel the light. All the flames together will lighten all the corners of the world. Third, even a single light goes a long way. The candles are always lit when the dusk is falling. They are placed in the doorway, and the reason for that is that they serve as a beacon, a lighthouse for the darkening streets. No matter how dark it is outside, a candle of goodness can transform the darkness into light. Then take it to the streets. Hanukkah is unique that its primary mitzvah is observed in public. It's not a private festival. It's a public festival, more like Baisakhi. It's not enough to be Jew at heart, even at home. So Hanukkah teaches you to shine outwards from your surroundings. Then the next one, don't be afraid to perform mitzvah even if you feel different. Again, I am impressed. I thought Guru Gobind Singh had a lot of impact of Jewism, when he transformed the dress of Sikhs so that they stand out, they are different, and they are not afraid to look different. So he wanted Sikhs to be like menorah, proudly claiming the radiance and uniqueness. And as a matter of fact, that's a lesson. Don't be ashamed. Shine like menorah. Be the light giver. Proclaim your radiance, uniqueness for all to see. So these lessons are really great lessons. As a matter of fact, they are the lessons of all religious festivities, provided they are taken in that light. Of course, the people do not take that in light, and that's a tragedy. But Hanukkah festival, Deepavali, Baisakhi, Christmas, they are all a celebration of victory of good over evil, right over wrong, freedom over slavery. And that's why we always think of them with hope and with desire in our hearts. Thank you.